Thank you for joining us on the Choose to Be podcast today. I am excited for this topic. It's funny. I don't know if excited is even the right word, but this topic is so relatable and I hear it come up often. And this came in as a listener question. And he's in a good place, or my partner is in a good place. And I can recognize and validate that they've done a lot of good work. And they feel like they're in a place where they're good enough, but I don't feel like it's good enough, and I don't feel like where we're at is okay. So now what? What do I do? Can you relate to that question? Oh my gosh, the amount of people that I have heard where one partner feels like they get to a place that they're good enough, and the other partner is going, "Hey, wait, I'm not actually okay, and I'm not okay with us settling where we're at." So we're going to explore that a little bit. We're going to look at some of the pieces of this and hopefully validate where each of you are at in this healing journey. Now, this podcast is focused on betrayed partners. So I'm going to be speaking to the betrayed partner, but I think this is one that either partner who's hearing this hopefully can get some understanding and some validation from. So the dynamic that we have going here at its core is one person, the individual seeking recovery, has done a significant amount of work. We have sobriety, therapy, there's some changed behaviors happening. And so I want to validate that there's those things happening. And a lot of times when we have this type of scenario where there has been some healing work done, my partner who has been injured, that partner in healing, they can have a part of them go, I do see a lot of work and I appreciate that work. But that injured, pained part still doesn't feel fully seen, fully safe, or emotionally connected. There's still injury and there's still pain. So that pain part is going, yeah, but don't you see? Like, we're not healed. We're not fixed. I'm not healed. I'm not fixed. And so that part can be very activated. And so when that injured part hears the other person go, I'm doing so good. Can't you be happy with that? That injured part wants to scream and yell and stomp and cry and say, "No, no, because I'm still so injured and our relationship is still so injured." And so that other person saying, "Look how healed I am," can feel really threatening, and it can feel really invalidating to still the active pain we're in. And healing does not just happen in this beautiful linear movement. I wish it did. I really wish it did for everybody's sake. But it's multidimensional, it's multi-layered. It's two steps forward, one step back. We heal one layer and then a different layer needs addressed. And then we heal one layer, which maybe helps heal a different layer, but then activate another layer. And so the healing journey is so nuanced and complicated. And so when one person feels that they're doing really good, I don't take the good progress away, but I invite the and when we still have active injuries to one individual, then we still are going to have some relational injuries and relational tending to we need to do. So I want to validate for the partner in healing that it's okay to let part of you recognize the work that's been done. And it's okay for another part of you to say it's not enough. And I'm not okay, and our relationship still isn't okay, and there's still healing that needs to be done. It's okay to validate both of those parts and let both of those parts sit side by side. Healing isn't a pass fail test. It's not this destination we get to, and it's like, oh, hallelujah, we're healed. It's relational, it's ongoing, and it's layered. And in speaking to the individual seeking recovery, I want to slow this down of what good enough might miss. When we get to this place within ourselves that we go, I've done all this healing work, this should be good enough. What we do in that moment is it's like we're hiking up this journey or hiking on this trail. And in this moment, we stop and we sit down on the trail. And so when I go, it's good enough, what I am saying to myself and my partner is in this moment, in this second, and I'm not saying forever, but in this moment, I am sitting down on the trail and I'm not moving forward anymore. I'm not progressing anymore. In essence, there is a giving up. And so I want to kind of explain how scary that feels to a partner, how scary that feels of you saying you're not going to progress anymore. And then we absolutely do get times that we get to rest. We all need periods of rest. And those periods of rest can't be forever because if we just sit and do no more, we slide back into those old neural pathways that often have been put in there through years and years and years of a type of thinking and a type of behaviors. So we do need to be continuing and progressing forward. That's part of being human, is about growing and learning and progressing and becoming. Now, does that mean we need to sprint for the rest of our lives? Absolutely not. But does it mean that we need to keep progressing and moving forward? Yeah. Yeah. The analogy I give, and I've said this a dozen times on the podcast, is like with lifting weights. If we want to have strong muscles, it doesn't happen by just sitting on the couch doing nothing. I actually have to get up and move. And if I sit on the couch and rest, that's fine. But if I sit on the couch and rest day after day after day after day with no movement, my muscles will start to wither away. So, for your partner who is looking for healing, looking for progress, looking for us to continue to grow and come together, that saying, I'm good enough, sends a message to them that I'm no longer willing to try. I'm no longer willing to progress. So you can see how that can feel so threatening and how it can also feel really hurtful. And so another thing to think about, what the good enough might miss, is good enough for the one who still caused the harm can fall short of the relational repair. Like, for example, if you stopped acting out, but you are not able to consistently have empathy, then good enough can miss that relational work of building the empathy. Or the good enough could be you've gone to therapy, but you've avoided actual emotional vulnerability. Or you were vulnerable with your therapist in the safety of the therapist's office, but you haven't translated that into the relational emotional vulnerability that it takes for that relational healing to happen. Or you want to move on and move forward. This is for the betrayed partner. You want to move on and move forward, but you still have trauma. And so I've shoved those parts down because I just don't want to deal with those parts, right? That emotional avoidance, because I feel good enough, but we're still avoiding some of that deeper trauma work, means that we still carry that trauma forward so that when we get triggered, that trauma gets activated and we don't actually do the full healing. So what do we do? We're going to take a really fast break and tell you about some of the things coming up at Choose.
Are you a woman carrying trauma in your body, tension, discomfort, and that tightness that just won't quite release? This is Holly Roderick, and I would like to invite you to join us this August 26th through 29th in Spanish Fork, Utah, for Revive and Thrive, a 4-day somatic healing intensive designed exclusively for women ready to reclaim their bodies. Guided by expert therapists, coaches, and body-based specialists, you'll learn to uncover where trauma lives in your body and gently release it through somatic practices like art therapy, breath work, brain spotting, energy healing, mindfulness practices, and therapeutic immersion in nature. It's more than just an intensive. It's a sacred sisterhood where you'll process emotions, rebuild resilience, and come home to yourself, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. If you're ready to step fully back into your life with freedom and strength, visit the show notes to learn more and to register.
Okay, and now back to the episode. What do we do when we're in this place and one partner says, it's good enough, you should be happy, and one partner says, it's not good enough? What I invite the partner in healing to do is first get clear with where you're at and what you need to feel safe and connected. Get clear with, is there that emotional vulnerability? Is there the empathy you're looking for? What pieces do you feel like you will lose if they never progress any further beyond this? Get clear with yourself on what that means. And I invite these deeper conversations, if it's safe enough for the deeper conversations, to not invite blame per se, but to invite a shared desire for growth. And if you are the only one in your relationship who desires growth, what does that mean for you? What is the reality of that? And is that the reality that your partner also is choosing? Sometimes in this, it's very painful that one partner does choose to stop their healing work. And maybe if you're listening to this and you're like, Alana, my partner's never done any healing work. What does that mean for you? What's the reality of that? If there's never healing work, what does your reality look like today? And what does it look like in your future? And if you choose to do nothing and just accept that, then at some level you are choosing this relationship as it is. If you're not willing to accept that, then what does that mean for you? I give you permission to explore this, and I give you permission to not be okay with it. But we also have to own that if I'm not okay with it and I do nothing, then at some level I am choosing this, and we have to own that choice. If I am not okay with this and I'm not willing to put up with it, then what am I willing to do for me? What are my boundaries that I need to do to create that safety for me or create that healing movement for me? Because I can't control another adult. I can't control what they do, what they say, what they think, what they believe. Maybe I can for a temporary period, but long term, we really can't. We have no power over other people's choices, their beliefs, and what they say. Our own boundaries is what we have power of. So we need to get clear with our needs, with our reality, and with what we are willing to do for us. And what's interesting is so many times, I'm hesitant to say this because I don't want you to use this in a manipulative way, but so many times when a partner in healing actually gets to the place where they go, this is what I will accept and what I will not accept. And this is what I'm going to do for me. And they start progressing and moving forward and honoring those boundaries for themselves. There's so many times that I see movement happen for their significant other because their partner doesn't want to get left behind. And the scary thing is for some, the individual, the other, I was going to say individual seeking recovery, but for that person who says good enough and they don't want to move forward, sometimes when the partner moves forward and heals, then they go, okay, well, I'm choosing out. So that fear of not knowing from the partner in healing, of not knowing if they're going to just give up and choose out or not want to be left behind and choose to heal with me, that can feel paralyzing, which is why this work of clarifying our needs, clarifying what it looks like to feel safe and connected, clarifying what it means if this person never does this work or doesn't progress forward, getting really clear with that, really clear with reality, which then allows us, and clear with our values. That's what allows us to build the boundaries that we need for our own healing and allows the relationship, the opportunity to grow or dissolve. And it allows us to move forward with confidence that we are doing the healing work and we are inviting the other person into that. But we're also giving them the room to choose in and fully choose in or not. In our healing journey, plateauing is common. Getting to these places where we plateau and we need a nudge. And whether it's a nudge from our significant other, it's a nudge from life, from reality hitting, whether it's a nudge through natural consequences and boundaries, plateauing is normal and needing that nudge within ourselves, getting that nudge from outside opportunities or circumstances is normal. It's common. But these moments of plateauing or these moments of rest need to be just moments if we're going to keep healing, if we're going to keep healing as individuals and keep healing in a relationship. So I want to validate that place for you in healing that says it's not good enough for me and it's okay. You're not asking for too much. You're not being too much. You're not broken if you still need more. And let's get clear with what that actually means and what that looks like. And let's get clear with the values that those values are needing space and time and healing and attention. You can honor somebody else's progress and still advocate for your own healing. Both can be true. So I give you permission to be where you are. I give you permission to keep healing. And as you are on this journey, please be so gentle with yourself. This is hard emotional work. I remember so many times saying, I wouldn't wish this pain on my worst enemy. And I still, I know what that feels like. And you can probably relate to that. I wouldn't wish this pain on anybody. So I send you love and support as you do this healing. Please be kind and gentle with yourself. And it's just putting one foot in front of the other. So thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you for the great listener question. And as always, we look forward to seeing you next week.
Hey, ladies, I want to tell you about something that could be the next step in your healing journey. It's my group coaching program, Believing in You. And it was created for women like you who've been through betrayal, abuse, or deep relationship pain and are ready to reconnect with yourself again. Believe in you again. Because when your world is shattered, it's not just the relationship that breaks, it's your belief in your own worth, your voice, your intuition, your future. And I get it. I live that. That's why I created a space where you don't have to figure it out alone. Each week, I coach you live, teaching tools, concepts, worksheets galore to help you really become more aware of what your old beliefs are and helping you shift into new beliefs. Teaching tools that actually support your nervous system healing and help you shift the beliefs that are keeping you stuck. You'll also get resources between sessions and be surrounded by a community of women who totally understand. It isn't about whether you're staying or leaving. It's about you choosing and learning to believe that you can trust yourself. You can heal, you can love, you can create something beautiful on the other side of this, no matter what the other person in the relationship does. You get a free 7-day trial. So come feel it out if you're ready to take your healing to the next level. If you've been doing this work and you're ready to take it deeper, or maybe you're just starting and you want a safe, supportive place to land, this is for you. Apply today and let's believe in you again.